Hey guys, my name is John Hamilton and today I'm going to be teaching you how to set up this command line for your game. So as you can see, we can click enter. If it's not the command, nothing's going to happen. But if you write in the correct commands, which you can set up, and you can have multiple of them, get cube is one of them in this example. As you can see, when you click enter, something happens. But if you don't click in the right one, nothing happens and it just clears it. So let's get into it and let's learn how to do this. Alright, so as you can see, I have a camera sitting here and a lamp, and we're in Blender Game and GLSL, and we're in textured mode. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to come into our camera view, or you don't have to be in your camera view, and go Shift A, add a text object. And I'm going to scale this down and move it into the corner to a nice size. So press P to play. What you see, there's our text object. Alright, so come over here to Game Logic, and we go back into camera view and back into textured mode, and press play. There we go, there's our text again. It's not that interesting. So what we want to do is we want to toggle this. We want sorry, not toggle. We want to be able to type in here. So we want to be like, let's say, like type into it. So you could say type Blender as a command or get cube, and it would run a command. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a text property, game property. So what is this doing? As you can see, you can't edit anything. You can just change it to a string or whatever. So what this is actually holding is this data right here. You can see you can access this, but you can't like see it here. It's kind of hard to. Instead of like here, you type it in here, but here you have to type it in here. But you can change this in game. All right. So you'll see in a second. So we want to be able to type something. So if we add a keyboard, keyboard sensor, and we call this key log, because it's going to be logging all the keys you're typing. And if we were to select the target to be text, you'll see, if we press play, nothing is happening. And why is nothing happening? Well, we're going to add something into this log toggle. So what we're going to do is add a game property, and we're just going to make this a boolean. We'll call this on slash off, on slash off. And then if we set this to true, go to on slash off in the toggle log toggle, you see, as we can type something. So with that out of the way, let's move on. So what we want to do is we want to be able to type stuff, but when we are actually playing the game, we don't want it to like walking around, because WSD or whatever you're going to use. You don't want it typing all that garbage, like, and then you have to get rid of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a keyboard, and we're going to call this tab, I think, and we're going to set the key to tab. So tab is going to be my key for bring up, I guess you could call it like the little chat command window, or whatever you want to call it. You can use whatever you like, but this is what I'm going to use. And I'm going to add a property actuator here, and this is going to be toggle, and a toggle type, so toggle, and we're going to name it toggle. You don't have to name these, I just think it makes it a lot easier to see, and we're going to select on slash off, because that's what we're going to be toggling. Right, so I'm going to connect this up, and we're going to close that off. So what you'll see is we should be able to hit tab. We should be able to type stuff. We hit tab. Can't type anything anymore. Type stuff, tab. Can't type anything. Alright. So it is toggling off and on. So let's move along. What we're going to do is we want to be able to type in a command and then click enter, and it will clear it all. So what we need to do is add a keyboard, another keyboard, and this is going to be enter. Return for Mac users, I think it is, and this is what it calls in Blender. So I'm going to call this return return. There we go. And we're going to close this so we can see what it is. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to connect this up to a AND controller. Got to connect this up to an AND controller. Actually, doesn't really matter what type it is for this one. We're going to connect that up, and we're going to connect it up to a property, and we're going to connect this up. Yeah, sorry. And we're going to assign this to text, and this is going to be to speech marks, I think they're called. Maybe they're called something else, but those little things, can't remember what they're called if they're not speech marks. I'm just going to call it that. I guess I could have called it clear or something, but who cares? What you'll see is we type something and we click enter and it clears it. And the reason we had to put those two little things is if you were to put nothing there, it doesn't do anything. What these are actually doing is it's like coding. It allows it to be a string. So you just click enter and it pops up. Now if you type all this garbage in and then just do it normally, you can see we get a big problem because it is looking for a variable. So what we want to do is we want to put two of those and then just call it. So just leave it blank, right? So now what we want to do is we want to make a command run. So let's say we type get cube in our chat. We want something to show up. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we're going to add a property. And this is going to be get cube. You can call it something else, but I feel like this is going to be the easiest for now. And if we're going to test for if text is equal to get cube, we are going to and we are hitting return. We are going to send a message, and this message is going to be get cube, and the subject is going to be get cube. And you can send it to an object or you can just broadcast it to all the objects. So I'm just going to broadcast it to all the objects so you leave this blank. Right? So I'm going to quickly add in a cube and I'm going to scale this down and I'm going to rotate it by double tapping R and getting it like that. So there's our little cube. And we're going to come over here to the physics panel and make it invisible. So this part isn't really important, but it's just kind of a way to visually see that it's working. So we're going to add a message sensor to this, and we're going to say get cube. If we get the message get cube, close this. We are going to visibility. We're going to run a visibility actuator, and we're going to make it visible to the people. So we go here, we get cube, and as you can see the cube there. So if you wanted to add more stuff, it'd be pretty easy. All you're going to do is add another property, and we can say if text is equal to get car, that's just an example, and of course get car, if it's equal to that, and return and get car, it's equal to get car, then send a message and so on. So that's pretty easy, and that's how you'd add it more. So you could just add more and more and more,